Hey drummers, Mike Michalkow back here, and just to give you another exercise here out of the Total Rock Drummer book, page 17. This is 8th Note Snare Drum Exercises. So I'm just going to talk about a few of these, and then I'm going to try to play the whole thing all the way through, and hopefully you can follow along with me on this. This is a really good challenge, okay? So basically, just as a recap, 8th notes are counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. In this exercise, we're dealing with some 8th note rests, some quarter note rests, half note rests, and that's pretty much it as far as the rests go. If you can't remember how those work, go back to some previous videos on some earlier pages. This is page 17, okay, just as a reminder. So just to give you an example, number 1, we already know it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or the top one, they're not numbered, sorry. They're meant to be played individually and practiced separately, repeated. But the goal is to try to play the whole thing non-stop, okay? So we're going to go down by line. So if I say line number 2, and I say the second measure, that's technically the 4th measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, let's go down to the bottom line, for example, and just play the first measure of the bottom line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So notice I did more counting and more resting than I did playing in that one. The hits are on the 1 and also on the and of 4, also known as the 4 and. And the very last measure, if you look at it close, we have a half note rest. Remember, that's 2 beats of rest. An 8th note rest, so we have half a quarter note rest there, and we play on the and of 3. We don't play the 4 or anything attached to the 4. So the only note that we see, the simplification of this reading is don't read the rests, read the notes. Understand the rests, but read the note. Because I'm not playing the rest, I'm playing the note. So when I look at that, my brain says play the and of 3. Now if you have to assess it, I totally understand that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? So we kind of get used to that over time, okay? So this is really good for anybody who's in school band or learning how to read some basic snare drum stuff. Okay, let's do one more example. I'm going to play the whole thing nonstop with the metronome. Let's do the third line down. I'll give you both examples on the third line down. So third line down, first measure, I've got 1 and 2 and then that half note rest, which takes up 2 counts of silence, okay? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Notice I rested on 3 and 4 and anything attached. In this case, it would be the offbeat 8th note. Okay, and then the second measure of line 3, I look at that, and now I'm looking at that rest, going, okay, that rests on count 3. So I'm going to play every 8th note except for 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You start to see what I mean as time goes on. Okay, one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now if I repeat that, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and, you have to realize it's a continuation. So as I'm reading ahead, when we play this thing all the way non-stop, I'm always kind of reading ahead, like my eyes are sort of jumping ahead. I learned that from a great teacher many years ago in college. Brian Thurgood was his name, and he helped me learn how to read ahead because I think I was kind of jumping to the next line and making mistakes. So I'm always trying to think a little bit ahead if possible. If I know I'm playing the 4 and I know there's going to be a 1 on the next measure of the next line, I'm trying to already see that visually, and that just helps for constant reading. So let's do 80 beats per minute. How about that challenge? Now if you can't do it with me at 80, slow it down to 60 or 65 or 70. But here's the challenge, and maybe come back to this if you can't do it and do the challenge with me. All non-stop, no repeats from beginning to end. Here we go. So metronome's on 80, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Whew, I should have taken a bigger breath. I had to catch my breath at the end there. Not used to counting out loud and playing like that. So that's a good challenge, a really good exercise, a good challenge. If you were able to do that with me, that's great. You can rewind this video, go back, try that again, or even just air drum. Listen to me play it and just air drum along, okay? You know what? You've just convinced me to do it slower. For anybody who wants to try it slower, here's 65. Let's do it at 65, okay? So for anybody who's brand new at this, let's go to 65 and have fun with this. Here we go. All the way non-stop, 65 beats per minute. Page 17, Total Rock Drummer. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Well, that time I took a little bit of a bigger breath, so it was a little bit easier. So hopefully you were able to hang on with that. That was fun. Haven't done that in a long time. It's always a good practice to go back and do that. So practice your eighth notes, count out loud, work on your reading. Just do them one at a time if it's hard to go all the way nonstop. Have fun with this. Let me know how you did in the comments if you have any questions, and I'd be happy to get back to you. We'll see you at the next challenge, probably heading to 16th notes next. All right, have a great day and happy drumming.